We're here today with Kyle Cross. What's going on, Kyle?
What's up?
And he's out of CrossFit Maven in Rochester, Michigan, over on the east side of the state. So we're doing a kind of a webcast interview with him today. He just got back from his trip to regionals with a couple other people on the CrossFit Maven squad and a couple individual athletes too. You guys all went down together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you want to do a little intro and I guess how long have you been around CrossFit and doing CrossFit?
I've been involved probably since 2010 is my first exposure to it, the summer leading into my first year as a college student playing football. So I use it as like more of a strength conditioning, stay in shape in the summer, get me exposed to like functional movement that'll translate into sport, which really helped. I guess that side of the sport. But I was using CrossFit as a training mechanism, not as a competition mechanism as I am now. But yeah, I started at Oakland County CrossFit, which was one of the only gyms like around when it first started. And then as it kind of grew, I expanded or took my talents and my coaching over to CrossFit Maven, met a lot of great people. And, I wasn't really in the best shape of my life when I got there, but the amazing community and people around me definitely inspired me and allowed me to kind of chase after some of my dreams, which became goals and became reality, which I love that and love all the people at the gym. And they're a really big part to why I do what I love. And that's just to simply get to the gym every single day and put that work in to better myself. And now that it's kind of more of a competitive level or a sport level, if you want to say, I really enjoyed it. This is the second year. I've gone. I can't really speak on behalf of my other teammates, but yeah, it was a great experience this year, and loved to go back to Nashville and represent such a great community and a great state as well.
That was a good intro. No.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I want to talk about like leading up to, because you guys did the Open, everybody that you qualified with, obviously, and then a couple people you said you would train with made individual. So then, so how did training look? Were you guys all just, all in together and not really partnered with anybody during the Open, or were you kind of trying to, figure out, okay, we know you're going to go team or you're going to go try to go individual or something like that?
Yeah. It was definitely clear, like kind of who wanted to be an individual. Like our individuals kind of had made that set in stone before the Open even started. But for the team, it's kind of been a Maven thing, that we decide the team kind of based on like how you do in the Open and how you train throughout the year. So like if you're somebody that kind of periodically shows up and then come to the Open and like you put up some pretty good numbers, but like you just weren't consistent enough. But like there's several factors I want to say that factor into it. It's like kind of like a community consensus with like the collaboration of like the owners and coaches and even teammates too. I was kind of like the last person to get picked because it was between myself and the owner, Brad Berlin, who, is completely capable and a great athlete himself for his age and his circumstances. And everybody has to make sacrifices, I think, for the sport itself. But, us 5 or 6 of us, we had to have an alternate too. So 2 guys, 2 girls, and then 2 alternates. We didn't really start training team stuff until I would say after the Open, just because we didn't really know if we were even going to be sending a team based on like the performance and the numbers and all that stuff, because they didn't take out those invites until, Josh accepted his and Mickey and Taylor. So they took all 3 of those scores out of the Open scores, which then whatever's left can kind of get contributed to your team score. So once we knew that was official, which was kind of like later in the game, we really only had like a month and a half to like really dial in, all four of us. But since we all are, we love training and we love being together with each other, it made it just kind of like a very simple but like fun way to get work in. And I definitely felt more prepared this year, just being in better relationship with them. But it was just a great time. I enjoyed every minute and every second of training with the team. I think and like again attesting to your question about like how often we train together, I definitely try to train with any one of those 10 people when they're there. Mostly throughout the year though, we're like kind of training together, not as much like making team workouts, but we definitely do train together as much as we can. Definitely helped us this year. But I think what's cool, what's awesome about like making that next step, if your goal is to be, top 10 in the region or even go to the games, and the Central East being super competitive, I think, spending that time now, in the next few months in the summer, even through the winter, working as a team, I mean, it really separates you on the floor and really can, put you in a better position to make that run for, something that's, seems kind of superficial from the outside looking in, but it's definitely a goal of ours to eventually send a team to the games. It's just you need to have 4 committed individuals that are willing to make that commitment and sacrifice throughout the year to their teammates. So when there's a time to train together, you guys, do that kind of stuff. So.
And it's 4 man. It was 6 man in the past, right? Now it's down to 4.
Now it's 4
person. So is that changed things, like more roles for both? There's less like rest time in between, or
Yep. Definitely less rest time. Makes it a little bit challenging for all the athletes, and it makes it for, there's less room for having like a weak link on the team per se. Not that like, that was something that hindered us, but in the past, but it's just, it made it so you send your best out there, which was really cool. Not that, it's like, I know we sent 3 individuals that are completely capable of being on the team, but what makes the, being on the team unique and different than being an individual is like how you guys mesh together, how there's, really awesome camaraderie in it, and like just the way you feel when you are working with someone else for the same goal to accomplish something that's, extremely special and represents something even bigger than yourself, a community of people that, see that in you and love every second out there, and, wouldn't trade it for the world. Definitely have memories to tell my kids when I'm older, for sure.
Is this you celebrating after dropping that worm?
Yeah, man. No, we just finished there. We just snuck out a little ahead in a lot of those teams. It was a burpee thruster, so 40 thrusters, 40 burpees over the worm, synchronized. Also the thruster, and then 30 thruster, 30 burpees. But you had to advance it every 15 and 20. So I was super, because I could see people ahead of me. I could see my family and friends and people from the community just kind of like cheering us on in our lane, and like had no doubt in my mind. I wanted to just get it done as fast as possible, and didn't want to let anybody down. So giving my thumbs up. I didn't send you a picture of that, but I was giving my thumbs up every single set because I wanted everybody to feel like I was good to go. So they're ready to go. So it was a great time, great people. Yeah, man, it was a blast. I loved it.
Did so there was a couple teams from Michigan. Did you guys have time to see other people, like talk between each other, plan?
Yeah, man. Actually, it was really cool to see the other teams that were from Michigan. So I can name There is Eighth Day Gym, which is out of the west side.
Mhm.
They sent a team. And then Stay Strong, which is actually in Troy, so like really close to us,
Okay.
sent it as well. And we actually were competing alongside of both of them at one point. I think it was the second day, which was really cool. It's cool to see like that, you know, 3 Michigan teams competing on the regional floor. It makes it, you know, it kind
Yep.
of shows that there's some really fit people in Michigan, you know, regardless of where you're at, what gym you're at. There's some competitive athletes in this area, and there's no doubt that the Central East is one of the most competitive regions as a whole, I think. So
Yeah.
a
And the
lot to see.
team side too. I mean,
Yeah.
because obviously Mayhem, are they still in the Central East or?
Yeah, no, they definitely are. They, you know, I don't know what their recruiting process looks like, but they definitely have developed something there where a lot of people are kind of either making a bold move and going there. I know they had 2 teams competing this year, so Mayhem
Yeah.
Freedom and Mayhem Independence,
Yep.
and you know they all get to train together every day, and they probably train against each other, which is really even cooler and unique, but something special that a gym has. And you know, it was definitely showcased. I think that weekend they both
Yeah.
qualified, so that's really awesome. And I think really special too that happened that weekend. As far as like team stuff goes, it's really cool that they're sending 2 teams from a
Yeah.
gym CrossFit
Yeah.
game. So
That's crazy.
it's wild.
So what were the biggest like attributes about your team that helped you guys, make it to the region? Was it just that persistent, like I'm not giving up, or
Yeah,
did you have some things fall your way in the open that really boosted you guys up?
you know, and it's definitely deep in that sense of you know, not giving up, always believing that you are gonna send a team. Like back in January when I was talking with Evan, one of the guys that's on the team, you know, that's all we talked about. Like, you know, like going back to regionals, like this whole year has been like, we're gonna make a team. It's gonna be because of us that we send this team. And, you know, there was definitely instances and WODs that, you know, I felt that, you know, I have to put up a good score every single week, you know, in order to do that. And, you know, our motto for this year and even going into next year has been go for it. So when you're in
Mhm.
a workout and you know you're kind of unsure, like should I go unbroken, should I break this up, our motto has just been go for it. You know, like you'll never know unless you try. You know, you'll
Yeah.
never know if you could do a set of 20 unbroken unless you do it or go
Yeah.
for it. You know, and like
Yeah.
that's the stuff that we really practiced and are still putting to practice now, but something that you know, I think is a really cool thing to think about when you're in there and you know you're unsure about how you should strategize during I mean, the opens maybe a little bit different of a scenario. You do the WOD once, you kind of make changes, adjustments, then you do it again in hopes to do better. Most of the time you do better, but if you don't, it's a learning experience. And
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely felt a little bit of pressure this year, but you know, with the camaraderie and the community, I mean, everybody, and you know, there are some workouts where I'm not gonna lie, like you know, there's some people that maybe not even you know a regional athlete that put up an amazing score, but it contributed to our you know team score. So maybe it was say 18-2 where it was the burpee squat workout. One of the
Mhm.
guys from our gym, he one of the only workouts he contributed to our team was that one score. But
Okay.
it's like, hey man, we'll take anything we can get. Just you know, I mean, the more the merrier, and it's
Yeah.
not just who contributes those scores that mean something, but it really does. And I think that that's what makes it so much more special. And you
So
know,
it is a whole, box effort in the
right?
beginning, in the open, and then
Yep.
you just send your 4 elite once it's time to hit the regional. Is that kind of the way it
Yep.
works? Okay.
Kind of, yeah. It's obviously like you pull all the top 2 men's scores, the top 2 women's scores, discluding all of the individuals that have done the workouts, and you
Yeah.
pull those scores which contribute to your team.
Yeah.
And then you're ranked based on that. So it was pretty, honestly, one of the most impressive things I've seen a gym be able to do in consecutive years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very proud to be a part of it, and being able to be in it. And, you know, some things that, you know, some people would kill to have those experiences, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely blessed to be able to do stuff like that and do the things that I've dreamed of, and continue to grow and get better. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
staying healthy, everything,
Yeah.
the team's looking good, feeling good. I know you got a couple competitions coming up. We got the Fresh
Yep.
Coast Games over in
Yep.
Muskegon.
Yep.
You guys are sending a team out there.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yep. Probably we're going to do probably the team divisions. We'll do the 3-guy division. There's no qualify for it, so it's just kind of a for fun one, but on the beach, so some swimming, some stuff like that. And then we're doing the Granite Games qualifier workout again, which will be these next 2 weeks here. And then when we qualify, it'll be in September, October time when the actual Granite Games happen. I think they're in Minnesota, some in St. Paul. So that'll be a fun experience again. I don't generally like to compete a ton throughout the year. I like to be more focused on training and just getting better. But yeah, we kind of been having these planned for some time now. So I'm excited for it. It'll keep me, you know, keep the flame lit all year, and you know, hopefully get us more excited about team training and getting more practice with the worm-in and more synchronized stuff. That really pays off, I think, when you work on it all year rather than just like a month or two before you go out on the regional floor. But there's definitely some benefit in that. I think we'll see some significant improvement on our team this upcoming off season. So
yeah, and then you kind of learn how each other, you know, work through different workouts and stuff. And I think that's the biggest part, is everybody being on the same page sometimes.
Yeah,
you know.
Absolutely, dude. 100%.
Because I'm more of an individual, you know, competitor, but hopefully one day I'll be to the next level. But man, it's a crazy road to get.
Oh yeah.
You know, on the
There's a
individual
lot
side
of
too.
yeah. You see it. I see it every day, and just like when Josh trains or when Taylor trains, like they spend the same amount of time, but it's, you know, it's kind of there's a lot of sacrifice going into that stuff, and you know, you have to be a year-round commitment, even sometimes more than that, man. Sometimes it's a 2-year plan for some people, or 3-year plan, like, you know, that you have to commit to in order to get there. Like there has to be some sort of like guidelines or like, you know, refurbished program for you, like to see the improvement. And it's honestly, it's hard to see the improvement once you get to a certain place in it. But you know, the victories, the progress is what is what really makes it such a great thing, and makes it, you know, for something that you can learn and use in your life and in other places other than just the gym. But it's a really cool thing that it's more or less for everybody, and not just for competitive athletes. I just speak on behalf of that body of people. But you know, I'm even more proud that you know, people like my brother have got back into CrossFit now. He did his first workout back in a couple of years now, and did Murph on the week after Memorial Day with me and the team. So I was really proud for him to do that, and just getting more and more people in it, and hearing what we have to say about like why it means something different to us, and what it means to us more than anything. And if you don't mind, I do want to shout out CrossFit Maven's main page. We're kind of getting some videos developed together, some people talking about what CrossFit means to them, and you know, how it's important to other people's, and how it's changed other people's lives and our lives. And just cool feeds of like people talking about like what CrossFit really means to people. So I'm really proud of that and excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I got it right here, CrossFitMaven.com. This is it, right?
Yeah, this is the site. We're soon to have like a promo video on there. It's just not up yet. My brother actually is in the process of working through that. He's going through like some interviews right now with some people and just getting some different perspectives on CrossFit in their lives and how the community has changed them and just made them better humans and through everybody's different walk of life. But yep, that's the
Definitely.
site. If you want to stay posted on when that new one comes, I'm sure I'll be posting or uh, Maven itself will probably post some stuff on social media about it. But I'm
For sure.
excited to see what happens with that.
Yeah, it's always it's cool how each, CrossFit gym has their own connected community, and they're all pretty similar. I mean, they're all different, but they
Yeah,
all, I mean, it's kind of the CrossFit mentality of going for it and everybody
yeah,
encouraging everybody. It's really cool.
yeah, man. Oh, 100%. I love it. You know, in in the mix of all of those things, there's different people, different ages, different fitness levels, and even times when I was in there, like today, like I was in there and I worked out with a guy who's not necessarily like a regional athlete, but he did one of the qualifiers with me and squatted with me, and it's just like, we're not necessarily doing the same weights and all that, but like just having someone there do the same workout as you builds that sense of like, hey, I'm doing this with someone else, like I want to better myself, they're bettering their self, I'm doing
Yeah.
this as an act of love for myself and he is as well, and like therefore together we can bond through this
Pain.
pain and suffering, but the quality of I think the more or less the spirit that comes out of you when you put yourself in that dark place or however dark you choose to go. It makes it for a funner experience, I think, and just something that I like to do regularly, daily. And kind of it gives me the energy to go about the rest of the day. That's why I've been training in the morning lately, but anytime really I get to go in there and train with anybody is a blessing and a blast. So
Definitely.
I
Well,
love it.
cool. That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking some time and sharing a little bit more about this past year, what the
Yeah.
stay in touch and, see what next year looks like. Cause it sounds like
Yeah.
you're back at it, ready to make it
Heck
again.
yeah, man. You know it.
That's awesome. All right, Kyle.